I would say that includes funds, collected from many investor for the purpose of investing.
Uh-huh.
And in the for mutual fund definition, I have just read this one.
Mm-hmm. और आगे?
And in mutual funds, reporting is very high. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And generally the risk is low as compared to the hedge funds, and there are many retail investors who invest in the mutual funds, and I would say it is very standardized, right? And regulations are here is more than the hedge funds, right? So it is very standardized and it is very regularized, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so
There are different type of mutual funds, बताइए.
different types of mutual funds, right? So it is first is equity funds, and the second is balance fund. Second is debt fund, and the mixture of both equity funds and debt fund is the balance funds.
What is equity and debt fund?
What?
Tell me, what is equity fund and what is debt fund?
What is equity fund and what is okay? So like funds like equities, which includes index funds and all sectors fund, and I would say dividend yield funds, and
Uh-huh. Nitin,
and
एक मिनट allow करना. Just allow me a minute.
okay.
Yes, I'm back. Okay, yes, proceed, please.
Yeah, so I was you asked me what is equity funds and debt funds, right?
Right.
So so equity funds in general, I would say, here in equity funds, they generally invest in equity in common stocks, right? In common shares of a
Okay.
public listed companies. And in that funds, they generally kind of invest in fixed income securities, and so they can they in that funds they generally get interest, right? And in equity funds they generally they may get dividend and as well as accumulation, you can say the appreciation. So yeah,
Okay.
so equity fund is more about ordinary shares, investing in ordinary shares, and that fund is more about investing in fixed income securities and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the difference between open-ended and closed-ended mutual funds?
Okay. So so open-ended fund is in mutual funds. Open-ended funds are those funds in which you can withdraw your money or your investment at any point of time, right? And in close-ended fund, you can only have your money at the end of maturity. Or if you will, if you still want to, withdraw your money in close-ended schemes, right? Then you will not get that much benefit as you were expecting or as you should have, right? So you will not get that in close-ended scheme. So close-ended scheme is, more about that you will get your money or you can withdraw it or you can break that scheme only at only at the time of maturity. But in the open-ended mutual funds, you can withdraw your investment at any point of time, even prior to the maturity as well.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Now tell me, ISDA.
ISDA. Okay,
Yes.
so ISDA is International Swaps and Derivatives Agreement, right? In which it is a kind of um,
कहानी
an
बताओगे
agreement,
तो
or I would
देखो
say
समझ
a
जाएगा.
regulatory. Okay. So if somebody, if two peoples are doing bilateral agreement, maybe it could be a forward contract or it could be a swap as well. So when they do the forward contracts, or you can take a swap as well. So when they do these kind of bilateral agreement, so just for the standardization and regularization, um, ISDA, it applies globally. So it gives, what would I say? Yeah, it gives the standardization of the contract. So, it specify that the contract should be in this type and, many things. So, yeah. So it can,
Hmm.
provide the legal and credit protection as well for parties who are entered in the, OTC derivatives or swaps, uh,
Swaps.
swaps, right? Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Although not much aware about the ISDA, but yeah, this is the basic term that it provides the standardization for the legal and credit protection, so that if somebody wants to have a privilege of this uh, international regulatory, so they can have it. I mean, they can follow it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
बस ये तो आपने बहुत हाई लेवल बताया ना, थोड़ा थोड़ा डिटेल से दो मुझे. ISDA में करता क्या है ISDA?
ISDA करता क्या है?
हम्म.
I told you कि I mean standardization provide कराता है. For example, you had a contract, right, in the OTC. It could be either a forward contract or swap contract, right? So this is for the legal and for example, you had a swap contract for your car insurance and all, if, right? Hello.
और
And yeah, so in that case, uh, you have a guidelines of the ISDA so I think it is a regulatory body, I'm sure, and it provides the standardization for the legal terms
it
and
is
the
not a regulatory body. सबसे पहला सवाल आंसर.
Okay.
आगे चलते जाओ, नंबर कटने शुरू हो जाएंगे अगर तुमने गलत गलत जवाब दिया तो।
मैन आईएसडीए में मेरे को डेफिनेशन पता है, मतलब यू नो so it is for 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 OTC market, right? So OTC market में जो भी contracts वगैरह होते हैं, right? Whatever the contracts is made in the OTC market, like your derivatives, majorly your derivatives and swaps. For those contracts, it provides the standardization, it provides the security and the and legal terms, right? So as in the
हम्म।
OTC, it is OTC is not a regulated market, right?
हाँ।
So there is no legal terms. The parties can customize their agreement as per their requirement and as per their wish, right?
हाँ। हाँ।
So just to standardize those things, ISDA provides some guidelines, or you can say the legal terms for the protection of the parties. Also, because eventually it is a bilateral agreement, so somebody has
हम्म।
to come in between them. So if somebody defaults the condition, right, or somebody denies to pay to someone, or somebody denies to send the goods or commodity to someone, in that case the party can have a privilege, for in term have a privilege for the can have a privilege to follow the ISDA terms, right? And
यार पता नहीं, but not the way I am expecting, not getting the answer in detail about ISD, क्योंकि ISD आप लोगों ने तो डिटेल में भी नहीं पढ़ के है। Okay, I'll still give you half marks then. Okay, you tell me what is the master agreement in ISD?
wow, very tricky question. Must not quite so. I mean, yeah, so I'm not quite sure about the master agreement, but still, I'll try to explain if I can. So, yeah, master agreement is, to be very honest, I'm not aware what is, a properly master agreement.
कल ये सवाल मैंने निशान से भी पूछा था, उसके बावजूद भी आपने नहीं पढ़ा।
I mean, yeah, actually, मैं कुछ और भी पढ़ रहा था, तो
हम्म।
yeah. But it is all so. It is the I can explain a little bit things. Maybe I would not be correct, but but I'm just, I will not try to let it go. So I would say that ISDA, the ISDA, oh, sorry, master agreement is the part of the ISDA. So it's kind of a standard agreement, right?
हाँ।
Which is used to govern the OTC derivatives transactions.
हाँ।
So, and as OTC derivatives, traded. The OTC includes the bilateral agreement, right? Not through an exchange or intermediary. So you can somebody can do a master agreement with someone just for the standardization. so they can opt the master agreement, right?
Uh-huh.
So they can have an intermediary who can, prescribes the who can govern and prescribe the regularization or legal terms, so that party don't default, right? Because in the exchange traded we have what do we say? Sorry. So yeah, in exchange we have central counterparty CCP, and we have exchanges, right? Who who guarantees the performance. Okay, that someone will not default in such a case. If it defaults, so there would be a different charges and penalty, and there would be a different way to recover that amount, or that fee. So for the exchange, it has intermediaries who gives the guarantee of performance, right? But in the OTC, there is no such exchange or intermediary. So in that case, somebody can opt for the master agreement, so they can have at least a a standardized contract, and they can have a standardized term. So that, for example, this agreement is, if any agreement is done, right? So the maturity of that agreement would be this much, right? And the term of the term will decide by the master agreement, right? Will get decided by the master agreements. So it may it governs the whole agreement. So master agreement is the is all of master agreement is, so ISDA is all about master agreement, right? And yeah, and the so some advantages could be that it improves the transparency, and it high liquidity.
चलो स्टोरी बनाने के कुछ ना कुछ तो मिल जाएंगे आपको मार्क्स.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, what is NAV? ये कल वाला सवाल आज फिर पूछूंगा.
NAV.
NAV in mutual.
Hello.
Yes, what
Yeah,
is
net asset value, right?
right?
So NAV is, I mean, normal. It depends NAV in mutual funds is, so we use a formula for NAV, right? Which is total asset minus liabilities, current liabilities, right? So that is known as NAV. But
क्या यूज होता है, क्यों यूज होता है?
NAV,
हम्म.
NAV, okay. So ताकि actual value of the uh, asset पता लग जाए, just to show the capital of the company or of the mutual fund कि इतनी capital है हमारी, right? So the stronger point is that जिसकी ज्यादा capital है, right, that would be a bigger corporate or the bigger company. So that's why we use NAV.
हम्म.
So NAV kind of two, NAV also kind of two NAV. One could be uh, present value NAVs, and different and the normal NAV calculation. So yeah, so the normal calculation is asset minus liability, and if you wanna calculate per share NAV, as you have seen that then which the information is provided in the exchanges and all. For the companies, they have the NAV per share, right? And how they calculate, they shows the capital of the company by the by just showing the per unit issued say per issued per issued share पे capital कितनी है उसकी, I mean कितना, हाँ कितनी कैपिटल है, राइट, पर यूनिट खरीदने के हिसाब से कितनी कैपिटल आ जाती है कंपनी की। सो क्या कंपनी की कैपिटल ही शो करती है, क्योंकि उसमें जब हम एसेट माइनस करते हैं करंट लायबिलिटीज से, सो वी हैव ओनली नॉन करंट लायबिलिटीज, और नॉन करंट लायबिलिटीज में से भी दोज लायबिलिटीज लाइक फंड्स है, लॉन्ग टर्म फंड्स है, लॉन्ग टर्म डेट्स है, या फिर आई वुड से कैपिटल है, राइट, इक्विटी प्रेफरेंसेस है। सो ये ऑल ओवर जब हम एसेट से माइनस करते हैं करंट लायबिलिटीज एंड ऑल को, तो प्रोविजन से सबको, तो उस केस में फिर जो भी लायबिलिटीज बचती है वो कैपिटल होती है हमारी। एंड जस्ट टू शो द कैपिटल वी कैलकुलेट द एनएवी, एंड कैपिटल शोइंग कैपिटल इज one of the most part in the
सबसे बड़ी बात,
uh,
म्यूचुअल फंड में एनएवी का या पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट में एनएवी का क्या यूज?
NAV का क्या यूज होता है?
यस।
NAV का यूज इसलिए होता है कि म्यूचुअल फंड के मे बी वैल्यू डिस्क्राइब करता है, पर जो भी म्यूचुअल फंड्स की यूनिट्स होती है, राइट, उनकी म्यूचुअल फंड्स की यूनिट डिस्क्राइब करता है, आई गेस। एंड आई से कि वी हैव आल्सो सीन कि कोई म्यूचुअल फंड्स में एक इनिशियल और एक एडिशनल अमाउंट और यूनिट होती है which somebody has to purchase, right? That although that's a quite different thing, but yeah, in mutual funds NAV plays the role of just to show the capital of the company, of the mutual fund, sorry, in which public has invested,
हम्म
I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess.
हम्म
Yeah, that's all.
काफी हद तक ठीक बोला आपने, आई एग्री।
Yeah.
तो अगला सवाल आपके लिए है, व्हाट इज
What? Sorry.
एक सेकंड,
Hello. Okay.
व्हाट इज कॉर्पोरेट एक्शन?
What is corporate action? So, okay. So, corporate action is an event, right? In which, in which corporate corporate actions are taken, like your merger, bonuses, how much bonus should be given or should not be given, dividends, right, should be given, should not be given, splits, spin-offs, right, and different kind of corporate actions which are taken in that event, sorry, yeah. So it is a corporate action which I would say I've learned that line, which is quite a formal and very layman line, that corporate action is an event that brings the material change to a company and also affects the stakeholders. Why it affects the stakeholders? Just because of the decisions which are taken in the in the corporate, in that event, or in that corporate meeting, which is known as annual general meeting at the AGM. So those corporate action affects the stakeholders of the company and brings the material change to a company. So if company wants to change their name, or maybe want to want to do some splits on their capital, or who want to disclose the dividends, right? Uh, so these kind of actions are done in the corporate. These kind of actions are done in that event, and that event which brings the material change to a company or affects its, affects its stakeholders. So that is all about the corporate action. So yeah.
Okay, what is the impact of corporate action on the investors.
On the investors, right? Oh, okay, so I would say if we do splits, right, it's gonna affect their number of shares and their denomination, right? Obviously, that's the obvious thing. And if they, you know, if they disclose that this would be the bonus ratio, we're gonna give you the bonus shares, right? That would also affect the number of share, but it won't affect the capital, total capital, right? That's an obvious. So and they can do if they do, if they do mergers or maybe they if they do acquisition, so it also affects the shares of the stakeholders, right? And capital of the stakeholders.
Okay.
And it's been also the example of that.
Okay. मैंने 1 मिनट होल्ड करना जरा.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, so in our corporate action, what is spin-off?
Okay. So spin-off is like when you distribute the part of your capital to the newly independent company. Yeah. So that is the spin-off. So if you don't want to, go to the IPO process and all, so because it would be a hard process to do, right? So just to avoid that process, you share your part of your capital to the newly invested company, newly independent company. I'm so sorry, newly invested company,
Only independent
newly
company. Okay.
independent. Yeah, आगे um, आगे this was the basic and आगे spin-off. Okay. Yeah, so just to avoid these big process for the just to gain the capital or yeah, so this was all about the spin-off and
Raise
let me
capital.
think this.
When you're saying raising
To
capital, what is that?
raising capital means uh, so for new company, right? it's more important to have the assets and to purchase the assets and all. So they need capital, right? And how they will get huge amount of capital they can get from the public itself. Yeah. So they choose to go to they choose to become a public company, and they prefer to go to the public and through the IPO process for the first time, right? For the first
Mm-hmm.
time of issuance, right? Yeah, so they raise the capital from the public and all. So they can also raise the capital from the private placements as well. But yeah, but in the most of the terms, in most of the time, company prefer to go to the public, right? Although becoming a public company has their many challenges or many guidelines to follow and many rules to follow. So yeah, but in its spin-off, I mean, it is a general thing that if any newly independent company which is just newly situated, so what existing public company do is they share their part of capital or and the assets and all and distribute them in new shares, right?
Hmm.
In order
Right.
to create. Yeah.
Okay. What is fill to kill and good till cancel when you talk about trade life cycle?
Fill. What you said? Fill or kill. That was fill or kill.
Fill to kill and good till cancel.
Yeah. So good till cancel and fill or kill was kind of thing. Then so fill or kill first. So in fill or kill, it was like कि अगर पूरा चला जाए, so that's good. And if पूरा नहीं जाता तो कुछ भी ना जाए. And good till cancelled मतलब it is open for whole time, so it has no maturity period. So uh, so they say ki, how would I say, yeah, so it's an open kind of offer, so which is available for which is available every time. So cancel this, so this option says कि cancel करने से अच्छा है कि रहने ही दो ऑप्शन को ओपन, कि जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि यार इतने में शेयर सेल कर देना या इतने में वो कर देना. सो वो सपोज मैंने कोई भी ऑफर दे दिया ना, वो ऑफर खुला ही रहेगा. आई मीन मैं उससे कैंसिल कर दूं, उससे पहले पहले यू नो या सो गुड टिल कैंसिल में मतलब ऑप्शन जो होता है, I mean, जो किसी भी ऑफर दिया रहता है किसी भी पर्सन ने, सो उसको कैंसिल नहीं करते, उसको ओपन ही रहने देते हैं, राइट, अनटिल एंड अनलेस या तो वो सेल हो जाए या ऑफर अवेलेबल हो जाए. आई मीन 10 रुपए में मिल रहा है, ऑफर अवेलेबल है, तो किसी ने 10 रुपए में ले लिया तो ठीक है, कैंसिल नहीं करते. या मे बी बड़े से या फिर आई मीन जिस पर्सन ने ऑफर दिया रहता है वो या तो वो खुद ही कैंसिल कर दे. सो ये था फिलर किलर कुटिल कैंसिल.
कुछ मिस कर रहे हैं इसमें?
इसमें
Yes.
just let me remember once. Fill, fill was fill was something like fill and kill का आई एम श्योर दैट एक ऑर्डर है, राइट, या तो पूरा ऑर्डर चले जाएगा, राइट, या फिर कुछ भी नहीं जाएगा. दैट वाज द फिल और किल, राइट. मतलब या सो फिल और किल में आई एम श्योर, राइट, फॉर किल फिल और किल आई एम श्योर. गुड टिल कैंसिल वाज कि जो ऑर्डर्स रहते हैं वो कैंसिल नहीं होते, वो ओपन रहते हैं फॉर ऑल टाइम, राइट. या फिर for all time until it gets executed. And for the or either the client or the person can who either the person or client can cancel that offer. That is good till cancel. And if I'm missing something, you can tell me. Although I gave my answer.
No, no, you're right. So good till kill means either the complete order will be completed, filled, or it will be rejected. In short,
Yeah,
that's all. So there is no partial execution. But in our good till cancel mein, order remains open till it is executed, or
yeah,
the cancelled by the client. Right? It is also kind of non. We also call it an open order.
yeah. Open offer. Oh, yeah, yeah. Open order. Right, right, right. That's what I forgot. Yeah. So I told you the open offer, right? Yeah.
Uh,
That was not open offer. That was open order. Right, right.
hmm,
Okay.
right. But no. Good. Okay. Uh, what is SBL?
SBL. So
G.
in SBL, yeah. Okay. I have to, you know, I have to create the whole story. Last time I was saying कि मैं बताता हूँ. Yeah. So uh, yeah. So okay. SBL में basically क्या होता है कि if I want to trade right for 10,000, right, but
Uh-huh.
I have only in my pocket or in my broker's account, in my, sorry, not in a broker's account, yeah, but in my demat account I have only 1,000, right.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, broker says to me that I can give you a privilege. You can trade for 10,000 if you want, right? I can give you 9,000 short sell offer, right? In that case, so it is a kind of margin that or the short sale process which brokers gives you. So it is a kind of privilege for the few customers or few selected customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I want to trade for 10,000, brokers give me a margin because I'm one of them, one of the few customers, yeah, who have that privilege to to do short sell, right? So what I would do, what my broker would will do that if I want to trade for 10,000. So what broker will do? Broker will get into a SBL agreement or follow the SBL mechanism, right? And and the broker will ask to the lender who can lend the shares for some time, right? And to lend, so lender has its own broker and the borrower has its own broker, right? And in the middle you can say there is an exchange or there is an clearing corporation.
Okay.
Yeah, and broker can be the same as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So okay. So for broker could can be a same brokers and can be a different brokers for different person. That is your borrower and for the lender, right? And in the middle we have exchange, or you can say a clearing corporation, right? Whose function is to provide the guarantee of the performance. Ki lender ko bhi lender would get it. I mean lender would get its interest, and borrowers ko apna share mil jaye, right? Nobody will default in that case if we have a exchange or clearing corporation, and we have a clearing corporation and exchange in the middle of both borrower and lender, right? So what borrowers do, borrowers borrow for shares from the lender for some time, and it gives the interest on that shares, right? Or you can say the fees. So it depends, right? And if suppose in that case, why borrowers do is that if borrower trade for 10,000, right, and if he purchase the shares for 10,000, right, suppose he purchased 100 shares for 10,000, right.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so in that case, if market price goes up, or market price goes up, and it and in future if it is giving 2000 profit, which means that now the share all share prices are increased, and now he can sell, the borrower can sell it for 12,000, right? So in that case, 2000 would be his profit, and that 10,000 shares, the 10,000 capital of the shares. So shares, suppose shares, number of shares were 100, right? Which he purchased, which he borrowed from the lender, so he can return
Mm-hmm.
back after earning the profit. Or it could be a vice versa situation. It may goes to the borrower may go to the loss as well. So in loss, there will be a different scenario. So in that case, borrower have to return the lender's shares in any case, because it is uh, it is a foundation for him by the exchange of clearing corporation. And broker will connect with the borrowers directly, because for broker there is an exchange, and for the client there is a broker, right? So
Mm-hmm.
exchange and borrower do not interact directly. They, in the middle, they have brokers who deal with these things, right?
Right.
Right.
Good. Good. Now tell me.
And one more thing, in the SPL, right? When they do these kind of trading, so they have kind of options like early recall options, right? And early return option available. So they can also avail that options. And the securities, which you can lend or borrow, are the F&O kind of F&O segment. That is, future and option segment. So which kind of security which is covered in the future and options. So yeah, those are the eligible securities in the SBL mechanism.
Okay.
Yeah. So from early recall and early return, I meant is that suppose I had a contract for 9 months, कि मैं 9 months में आपको आपके शेयर्स दे रिटर्न कर दूंगा, राइट? एंड उसमें
Mm-hmm.
तब तक 9 months तक इंटरेस्ट पे करूंगा. बट इफ इन केस इन द मिडल ऑफ दैट टाइम और इन द मिडल ऑफ दैट मैच्योरिटी पीरियड, अगर मेरे शेयर्स ही 12,000 के चले जाते हैं, एंड देन आई डोंट वांट टू वेट, राइट? तो मैं उसी टाइम 12,000 के शेयर्स सेल कर दूंगा, 2,000 का मेरा प्रॉफिट हो जाएगा, 10,000 के उसको मैं शेयर्स वापस कर दूंगा. सो दैट कुड बी ऑल्सो अ सिनेरियो.
दोबारा बताओ ये.
सो आई वाज सेइंग, कि अगर मैंने 9 months का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करा, राइट, और
Mm-hmm.
एग्रीमेंट करा है,
Mm-hmm.
सो उस केस में मैं लैंडर को 9 months में दूंगा शेयर्स उसके
Mm-hmm.
वापस रिटर्न, राइट? और उसी
Right.
अमाउंट में, जिस अमाउंट में लिए थे मैंने, राइट? सो
Mm-hmm.
वी हैव अ अर्ली रिकॉल ऑप्शन, और यू कैन से द अर्ली रिटर्न ऑप्शन. सो
Mm-hmm.
इन अर्ली रिकॉल, लैंडर क्या कर सकता है? रिकॉल कर सकता है अपने शेयर्स के, भाई मेरे को दे दे.
Mm-hmm.
इन अर्ली रिटर्न व्हाट बोरोवर कैन डू, कि 9 months का पीरियड था, मेरे को अभी प्रॉफिट हो गया 2 महीने बाद ही, एंड देन उसके बाद मैंने रिटर्न कर दिया वो. सो दीज आर द ऑप्शंस. अर्ली रिटर्न के, अर्ली रिटर्न फॉर द बोरोवर, एंड रिकॉल का लेंडर के लिए ऑप्शन भी रहता है. सो वो एग्रीमेंट में मेंशन करना पड़ता
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Good.
है.
Uh, Now, what is trade enrichment and trade life cycle?
Wow. What is that? Trade enrichment.
Right.
Okay. So in trade enrichment, what we normally do, so I would use a very a very layman language. So just to explain you, because I haven't read in the, in with the definitions and all. I would try to explain in a very layman term. Okay, that would be good, I guess.
Yeah, that is good. That is good.
So yeah.
Go ahead.
So first we before doing the trade enrichment, right? We do
Uh-huh.
the trade execution in the first place, and then we do the trade capturing, right? Then after preparing the static data and all, right?
Uh-huh.
The next process come, which is known as trade enrichment, which is commonly known as data defaulting, right? So the we capture the default data, right, in the trade enrichment,
Mm-hmm.
right, which is stored in the kind of information stored in the static data. So
Mm-hmm.
first I'll try to explain you then I could say that this was the layman term. So I can explain you very easily. So in trade capturing, what we do, we capture all the details of that trade or that order, right? Like quantity, what kind of security it was, right? It was equity, debt, or bonds, what it was, right? What was the price
Mm-hmm.
of that security which somebody had quoted, right? Uh,
Right.
who are the counterparties and all, right? What was the trade time and date, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we prepare the static data, and from that static data, what we do uh, is that we enrich
Mm-hmm.
the details of the trades. So I would say we enrich the detail of the trades. So kind of details we enrich is that the cash value of that transaction. It also includes the custodians, right?
Mm-hmm.
And trade confirmation be इसमें लेते हैं, right? In trade enrichment. And yeah, so confirmation and affirmation is done in that trade enrichment process. And that's what I've learned in trade enrichment.
When you say trade enrichment में डिटेल्स हमारी एग्जैक्टली किस टाइप की होती है?
Exactly.
या ट्रेड एनरिचमेंट में डिटेल्स क्या क्या
Okay.
कवर?
So like okay, कितना cash like आने जाने वाला है, cash values, what would be the cash values, right? And
हाँ.
custodians का भी selection होते हैं उसमें. And trade confirmation and affirmations होती है, right?
Mm-hmm.
And किस वे में I mean किस वे में ट्रांजेक्शन को सेटल करना है, किस वे में I mean ये ट्रांजेक्शन सेटल होगी, right? This details also comes in the trade enrichment process. And yeah, and yeah, so yeah, this was
Okay, I'll still give it to you.
yeah,
Now, explain me what is the end to end of TLC?
end to end in TLC, trade life cycle, right?
Right.
Okay, so end to end. Okay, so what do you think? End to end. Think I think I forgot. I haven't read it end to end.
नहीं नहीं तुम्हें
Although
पता
we
था.
have discussed about it.
हाँ राइट, फिर भी दोबारा से मुझे एंड टू एंड दोबारा तो एंड टू एंड
Can you give me hint?
ट्रेड लाइफ
End to
साइकिल.
end. What you said? End to end trade life cycle, right?
प्री प्री स्टेज, फिर मिडिल ऑफिस, फिर पोस्ट उसका
Okay, okay, okay.
फ्रंट मिडिल बैक ऑफिस है हमारा ट्रेड लाइफ साइकिल में.
Yeah,
फ्रंट ऑफिस होता है मिडिल ऑफिस में, क्या होता है बैक ऑफिस में, क्या होता है, देन सेटलमेंट होती है बैक ऑफिस में, और सारी चीजें और रिकंसिलिएशन, वो
Okay, so
दैट।
this is end to end.
यस सर।
So this is not a common term which is used for the like kind of formula and all.
Which one? Come again, I didn't get you.
So you want me to explain what actually happens in the uh,
Trade life cycle,
uh,
pre-stage,
trade life cycle,
front,
pre-stage
middle, and
kind of what are the responsibilities of the front office and all, right?
yes.
Okay. So okay. Okay. So I would start, what is trade life cycle and all. And then I would go to the responsibilities of the responsibilities of the front office and middle office and the back office. So
Mm-hmm.
I would say that so trade life cycle it depends, right? So every trade and is- every trade has its own life cycle, right?
Mm.
Which can be breakdown between pre-trades and post-trade events, right? Then what kind of responsibilities front office has? So sometimes it also happens that some corporate does not have their middle office. So middle office in general can be maybe or can be maybe a centralized what would say centralized technology. So it is a function. Actually टेक्नोलॉजी को क्या कहेंगे जो कनेक्ट करता है मिडल फ्रंट ऑफिस को बैक ऑफिस को.
IT part, right? IT part. That's all the middle office applications.
Yeah, is all about, right? So sometimes front office do the
Right.
book do the middle office responsibilities as well and its responsibilities as well. So like one of the example is that we have seen that the booking trade is the responsibility of the front office and capturing trades is the responsibility of the middle office, but it is done in the front office itself, both the both things, booking the trades and capturing the trades. So this is one of the example, just for the clarification. And responsibilities of the front office is that booking trades, capturing trades, right, and smooth processing, right. Smooth
Mm-hmm.
processing means कि IT को use करके and technology use करके so details वगैरह में ऐसा कोई भी defaults वगैरह ना हो, so that yeah, so that is the concern of the front office and resolution and
Mm-hmm.
escalations, right? And all the reporting requirements. And also what are the responsibilities of the middle office is the confirmation and information लेना, right? P&L control करना, risk management and compliances को check करना,
Uh-huh.
and your positions, right?
Mm-hmm.
uh, and the back office की back office responsibilities are settle करना trades को, right, on time, right, settlement on time. And I would say just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, so settlement on time, monitor करना cash settlements and all को, right, and reconciliation करना.
Okay. Now tell me,
Yes.
why do we do the reconciliation of front office and back office in our trade life cycle? Why do we do reconciliation of front office and back office?
Why do we do? Okay. So just to ensure that the whatever the kind of trade is done, right, is done in the correct way, so that it is also the responsibility of the brokers that for the pre-trades it is the responsibility of the broker, complete responsibility of the broker, I would say, to reconcile the pre-trades activities. so that
But
there could not be any discrepancies and all, right? Just to avoid the discrepancies and defaults, they do the reconciliation कि इतना cash गया है, that इतना जाना था, इतना ही गया हो, and the number of shares which should be debited in someone's personal account, वो counterparty के account में उतना debit हो गया हो number of shares. So yeah, so just to avoid the discrepancy and all, they do the
oh,
reconciliation. Yeah.
okay. In case there is any discrepancy in the reconciliation between front office and back office, what do we do?
Between front office and back office.
Reconciliation में कोई discrepancy आ गई, what do we
Yeah.
do?
So normally, if there is a discrepancy between the what do we say? If there is a discrepancy between front office and back office, so we report
Mhm.
if this discrepancy is done from the front office, so back office will tell and report it, right? And they will escalate that problem, right? Hello.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they will escalate
Yeah,
that
yeah. I'm,
problem. Yeah, so we have seen that there was a chart in the reconciliation where we see that uh, if we find any discrepancy, then we do formal reportings, right, between the offices. So it's a general thing that if front office did any mistakes,
बस
right,
you
or it did any hello,
सिर्फ report
hello.
out होता है. Yeah, am I audible?
ये रिपोर्टिंग होती है, एस्केलेशंस होते हैं कि फाइंड करना कि क्या प्रॉब्लम थी, किस वजह से हुई थी, एंड या
Okay.
या मतलब आई मीन रिपोर्टिंग्स वगैरह करना. तो फर्स्ट अगर नॉर्मल प्रोसेस के हिसाब से जाए तो अगर कोई डिस्क्रिपेंसी आई है तो उसको पहले या सो फर्स्ट दे डू इन्वेस्टिगेशन, देन दे if they find discrepancy they do the formal reporting and escalations. So this was the process which I remember, but I don't remember anything else.
Okay. Now tell me what is net settlement and what is rolling settlement?
What is net settlement, what is rolling settlement, right? So in
Right.
net settlement we do the net, so okay, so if I have I have to pay you 12,000, right? And
Uh-huh.
you have to pay me 10,000, right? In that case, I'll pay you only 2,000. That would be the net settlement, right? Hello,
Yes, yes.
hello.
Yeah. Net
Yeah,
settlement तो rolling settlement date की बात कर रहा हूँ. Date. Net settlement date and rolling settlement date क्या होती है?
okay. So net settlement is, I guess क्या पढ़ा था भाई, भूल गया मैं.
नहीं नहीं कोई नहीं just give it a shot.
Net settlement. Can you give me a hint? Actually, मैंने उस slides में देखा ना हो कभी.
Net settlement and rolling settlement date क्या होती है? Date की बात कर रहा हूँ. Net settlement date क्या होती है? Rolling settlement date क्या होती है?
Okay, okay, okay. In rolling date, I think we can, modify the date.
Modify the date. When?
When क्या पड़ा था यार? When rolling date.
रोलिंग डेट होती क्या है?
I don't remember honestly.
नेट सेटलमेंट डेट क्या होती है, ये बताओ.
Net settlement date.
हाँ,
Net
नेट.
settlement date. I mean,
हम्म.
जैसे कि जो भी नेट सेटल हो जाए, अभी बताया था जैसे मैंने.
हम्म.
I mean,
क्या बाबा, इतना इजी आंसर है ये? डोंट गेट
I
कंफ्यूज.
know easier, but कंफ्यूज नहीं हो रहा, मेरे को याद ही नहीं आ रहा बिल्कुल भी. Although,
So net settlement date is like T+2, right?
okay, 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 okay,
रोलिंग
okay.
सेटलमेंट डेट आती है. नेट सेटलमेंट डेट और रोलिंग सेटलमेंट डेट क्या होती है? नेट सेटलमेंट होती है. नेट सेटलमेंट की बात नहीं कर रहा मैं, नेट सेटलमेंट डेट की बात कर रहा हूँ. तो मुझे पता है मेरी डेट
Okay.
फिक्स है, वंस इन अ वीक. रोलिंग सेटलमेंट एज एंड
Yeah,
व्हेन में रहेगा. वो T+2 है, T+2 के साइकिल पे वो क्लियरेंस के लिए जाएगा आगे.
yeah.
समझ गए?
Now I remember. Yeah,
आएगा
yeah,
यार.
yeah, yeah.
ओके.
अरे
हाउ डू.
आई मीन पढ़ा तो मैंने, गो थ्रू नहीं करना मेरे को लग रहा है मैंने इसको. या सही के नाइस.
व्हाट
नेक्स्ट.
इज एसेट
सर
मैनेजमेंट?
वैसे
व्हाट इज
काफी
कैश?
क्वेश्चन नहीं होंगे सच्ची.
नहीं, दो दो सवाल हो. एक चलो, एक लास्ट सवाल. व्हाट इज एसेट मैनेजमेंट? कहने कुछ
व्हाट
ज्यादा
इज
नहीं.
एसेट मैनेजमेंट? जब से दवा भी थे, मेरा गला भी सूख गया जो. ओके. या सो Yes, I was saying कि asset management is, professionally manage. इसको तो मैंने सही पढ़ा था. So asset management is, professionally managing the various assets and securities, right? In order to meet the specified investment goals for the benefit of the investors. So asset management की definition मैंने याद कर ली थी कि यार ये तो बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि asset management की definition is was something जो मेरे को लगी पढ़ते वक्त कि आई मीन कोई भी एसेट मैनेजमेंट पूछे ना, तो तुम ये डेफिनेशन बोल के उसे क्लियर कर सकते हो पूरी चीज, कि इट इज द काइंड ऑफ प्रोफेशनल मैनेजमेंट, प्रोफेशनली मैनेजिंग दी various securities and asset in order to meet the specified investment goals. So जो भी इन्वेस्ट करते वक्त गोल्स होते हैं किसी भी इन्वेस्टर्स के, so उस goals को meet करने के लिए we do the asset management, right? So that's why in the last I was saying for the benefit of the investors.
हम्म.
So yeah, so this is the definition of the asset management. Then we have types of investors: retail investors, HNIs, institutional investors,
हम्म.
and then the kind of service offered by the AMC's asset management company is there as a portfolio management, mutual funds, hedge funds. So these are the services which AMC's provides.
हम्म.
Yeah,
मैनेजमेंट में एग्जैक्टली करते क्या है लोग?
एसेट मैनेजमेंट में बंदे पोर्टफोलियो मैनेज करते हैं, पोर्टफोलियो मैनेज की सर्विस प्रोवाइड कराते हैं. राइट। इस वे में मैनेज करते हैं एसेट, सो उनका जो प्राइमरी गोल होता है इज जस्ट टू मैनेज द एसेट इन दी ऑन दी बिहाफ, क्या बोलते हैं इसे, इस वे में इन मैनेज करना एसेट्स को, सो दैट इट गिव्स द बेनिफिट्स टू द इन्वेस्टर्स। सो एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनीज होती है, राइट, उनको पे ही इसलिए करा जाता है कि वो पोर्टफोलियो मेंटेन करके रखे, टाइम टू टाइम उनको इन्फॉर्म करते रहे कि ऐसा ऐसा पोर्टफोलियोज में चल रहा है आपका चार्ट वगैरह, आपको यहाँ जो सर्विसेज लेते हैं, राइट, काइंड ऑफ एडवाइस सर्विसेज इन दी पोर्टफोलियो मैनेजमेंट। So what kind of the kind of advices they provide uh, in in such a way so that investor can have a benefit from that advices. So जो investments के goals होते हैं for the purpose which investor invested in some assets, right, or in the securities. So उनको manage करना professionally, handle करना, उनमें advices provide करना, right, and किन टाइप्स में लाइक शेयर्स बॉन्ड्स इन सब में जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स होती हैं उनकी, उन इन्वेस्टमेंट्स से बेनिफिट देना इन्वेस्टर्स को, दैट इज द प्राइमरी गोल ऑफ द एसेट मैनेजमेंट।
That's the primary goal.
प्राइमरी आई वुड से it is the goal, right, I would say it is the goal, but yeah, although it is their responsibilities as well, so just to inform their clients, uh, like the retail investors and HNIs and the institutional investors.
Hmm. Okay, with that note, I think good.
Yeah,
अच्छा गया. Happy with your
and
performance.
sir, yeah, thank you. And sir, कोई नहीं आया क्या हुआ उनका? ये तो बताओ।
सर पता नहीं, दे जया ने कहा था मैं 2:30 बजे तक जया की वेट करूंगा, फिर
अच्छा, ढाई बजे
आगे
का था।
शी सेड कि जैसे ही होगी ना चूहे ने काट लिया उसको. मैं वाह यार, तुम्हारे घर में सब होते थे, तुम्हें चूहे ने काट लिया, झूठी असेसमेंट के
वही
डर
तो।
से. राइट, सो जस्ट कोई नहीं, एक बार ना ग्रुप पे डाल दो, एक बार ना ग्रुप पे
हाँ,
भी डाल दो सारे के बोलो राज, दिनेश इज वेटिंग फॉर यू ऑन दी
या,
कॉल फॉर द असेसमेंट.
ओके,
ठीक है ना,
ओके,
जस्ट एक
मैं जय
ग्रुप
को
पे
भी
डाल.
रिमाइंडर डाल।
हाँ, राज, दिनेश इज वेटिंग फॉर यू ऑन द जूम
या,
ऑन
ओके,
फॉर द इंटरव्यू, राइट, बस
एंड
इतना मैसेज डाल दो.
या, एंड जय को भी रिमाइंडर डाल दो, है ना, तो ले ले।
प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज.
या,
And
ओके,
good, yeah, very happy for you, very happy. Good job. Take, और you can log off and आराम कर सकते हो, और अपना
या,
ग्रुप पे मैसेज डाल दो यार.
ओके, ठीक है सर, थैंक यू,
Thank you.
बाय,
Thank you. Bye. Good job once again.
थैंक यू।
नितिन, जया या राजकिशोर से बात हुई आपकी?